Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hello Word, your daily dose of English vocabulary. I'm your host, Alex, and today we're diving into a fascinating word, collector. So, what exactly does collector mean? Well, in simple terms, a collector is a person who gathers or accumulates items, often of a particular type, for a hobby or as an investment. It's a noun, and it's a pretty common word, so you'll definitely hear it in everyday conversations. For example, you might say, "My neighbor is a passionate stamp collector," or "She's a serious art collector with pieces from all over the world." The word itself suggests a deliberate act of acquiring and keeping things. Let's explore some synonyms for collector. We could use the word accumulator, which also means someone who gathers things. For instance, he's an accumulator of vintage comic books. Another similar word is hoarder, though this word often has a slightly negative connotation, implying that the person keeps things in a disorganized or excessive way. You might hear, "She's become a bit of a hoarder, filling her house with newspapers." Then, there's gatherer, which emphasizes the act of bringing things together. We can say, historically, humans started as hunter-gatherers. A more formal synonym could be connoisseur, especially when the items collected are of high quality or artistic value. He is a connoisseur of fine wines, always adding to his cellar. On the opposite end of the spectrum, let's look at some antonyms for collector. A good antonym is distributor, someone who gives things out or spreads them around. You could say, the charity acts as a distributor of food to those in need. Another antonym is disperser, implying scattering or spreading things. We could say, wind acts as a disperser of seeds. Another antonym that highlights the opposite action is donator, somebody who gives things as a gift. He is a frequent donator to many charities. We can also use spender, someone who parts with money to acquire things. You might say, "She's quite the spender when it comes to clothes." Finally, we have discarder, meaning someone who throws things away. He is a ruthless discarder of old technology. Now, let's talk about how the word collector is used in everyday life. You might hear phrases like, "He's a collector of rare coins," or "She's a collector of experiences, always seeking new adventures." Sometimes, the word is used figuratively. For example, you might say someone is a collector of friends, meaning they have many close relationships. Another common expression is to say someone is a collector of information, meaning they are knowledgeable and well-read. Imagine you're at a museum and you overhear someone saying, "This museum is a haven for art collectors." Or at an auction, "The painting was sold to a private collector for a record price." You could be discussing hobbies with someone and they say, "I'm a collector of vintage cameras. I find them fascinating." To give you more examples, let's use collector in a few sentences. My grandfather was an avid stamp collector, his albums filled with colorful stamps from all over the world. She dreamt of becoming a renowned art collector, curating her own gallery filled with masterpieces. The museum displayed a vast collection of artifacts, attracting history collectors from around the globe. He was known as a passionate book collector, his library lined with shelves overflowing with literary treasures. The antique shop was a treasure trove for collectors seeking unique and rare items. She is a private collector who prefers to remain anonymous. He is a sports collector and knows all the scores. Some people are just collectors of gossip. The library is a collector of historical documents. So, to recap, a collector is a person who gathers items, often of a specific type, for a hobby or investment. We explored synonyms like accumulator, hoarder, gatherer, and connoisseur, and antonyms like distributor, disperser, donator, spender, and discarder. We also saw how the word is used in everyday conversation and in various phrases and sentences. That brings us to the end of today's episode. Thanks for tuning in to Hello Word. If you enjoyed this episode, Please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Your support helps others discover the show and improve their English vocabulary. Now, I have a challenge for you. Create your own sentence using the word collector and share it as a comment under the video. I'm excited to see what you come up with. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next episode.